Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Ledwell and this is a very special edition of the Inspiration Show. I am here with my friend Carol Tuttle. How are you,
Hi,
Carol?
I'm thrilled that you're kind of hanging out with me,
I
doing
know.
your show. That's cool.
I know, I'm actually here with Carol in her studio and we're doing something very different today, and we're going to do a bit of a makeover with me, but not just your normal makeover. What we're talking about here is dressing for our energy type. And we also want to talk a little bit about us as women.
Yes.
And the body image issues that we have.
Yes.
And how we can really overcome that when we know what our energy type is and how we can dress for that. So tell me first, how did you get into doing this work? How did you...
That's a common question. Well, it's interesting because I'm certainly not someone that comes from the fashion and beauty industry side of things.
Yeah.
I come from the world of energy psychology. And as you know, when you work with enough women, it's very apparent that that every woman, Dove did in their Real Beauty campaign, they did a study. 98% of women have a belief that they're somehow flawed or they're ashamed of their body and appearance in some way.
Yeah.
And so through my career of working primarily with women in private session work and then online and, with the messaging I have, I started to see this common, what's called a psychological reversal. We believe something's true, but it's really a misunderstanding, a misperception of ourselves that we all choose into. So I started to study the psychology of this. Where did we get imprinted? Where did we choose into this belief? Why do we all agree to it? Why is it so common for women to just say, yeah, I know, like if somebody is getting down on themselves, the other woman joins in and gets, it's like this sort of mutual understanding. We all put ourselves down. And as you know, that's not healthy, nor is it even necessary anymore. And I think there's been huge efforts to wake us up to this, to say what I call shame-based beauty isn't in anymore.
No.
It's on its way out, So we're smart enough to go, it's really not in my best interest to shame myself anymore, And so I started to study. I was presented with an opportunity over 12 years ago to start develop a profiling system. And as you know, there's many personality systems out there, and they always fall into 4 classifications. So mine's no different.
Right, yeah.
Everything comes in 4s in this world.
Yeah.
But I looked deeper. I didn't believe personality was the truest measurement of who we are. Because as you know, there wouldn't be a self-help world if we were all living true to ourselves.
Right.
And so personality gets a little to a lot skewed based on kind of the feedback we're given as kids. So what I came to learn was that there were 4 movements or energies, that we all are born with a predominance and dominant expression of one of the 4. We have all 4 in us, and so we're all born with this human nature quality. And if our parents don't get that about us, we'll feel at odds with it. We'll develop a personality that kind of is in conflict with that inner nature, that core expression of self. So at the same time I was developing the energy profiling, I started to develop a dressing system that you could match your type based on your movement. Because everything we're doing, especially for women, because we have a lot more components with the option, we do a lot more with hair, accessory, makeup. We have a lot of moving parts in the fashion and beauty experience, but no good guidance, no practical, how do I learn this for myself? What's right for me? It's a very trend-based, what's popular, celebrity-influenced world. And we're pitching ourselves against a reference that is so ridiculous as far as what beauty is. We're presented with an imaging in the media world of what beauty is a very tall, thin, a bit of anorexic looking woman that has a certain look.
Yeah.
And at 13, when we're 13 years old, we accept that to be the comparison. That becomes, and we kind of tuck that away subconsciously and either say, forget it, I don't care, or we try and work it. I think most of the women in our audiences are kind of going, look, I want to look good, but I just don't do the whole fashion beauty thing because it's just so superficial.
And the thing is too, I think as we get older, we can't dress like we see a lot of the women, the younger women.
You can get away with a lot more in your earlier years because actually when you wear In Dressing Your Truth, I realized there were 5 movements that created, especially our clothing. They were design line, texture, fabrication, pattern, and color. Those all create movement on our body. You can apply that to hair. You can apply that to makeup. And if you have the wrong movement on your body that's contrary to your type, it will age you.
Right.
It will make you look heavier. You'll feel different. In fact, we have what we call the 30-day challenge in our Dressing Your Truth course. Everything's delivered online in a really user-friendly platform when you buy the program, and we invite women to do this for 30 days now, because what I want them to get to is after 30 days of dressing their truth, if they choose something that's contrary to what's correct for them, they're going to feel a difference.
Right.
Energetically. We're putting everything's vibration. You teach that to your community in everything you do. Well, there's no difference. This is vibration on our body, and it's either in harmony or it's in conflict with who we are. One of my most watched YouTube videos is me dressing in all 4 types.
Right.
And if you need a I would put wigs on. I mean, we really wanted to stage it.
Yeah.
Then people were kind of calling me out to say, well, that wouldn't look good on anybody. So then I did a series where I said, who wears it best? And I put on the exact same outfit that a woman of that type did. And you could visibly see, well, the woman in the correct type with it's a type 1 wearing a type 1 style looks great. Carol looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so we put out a lot of visual evidence that this works, but more than anything, when you put it on your body and you start to trust your own, what I call your beauty 6th sense, you become your own expert for fashion.
Yeah.
Which every woman should be. Every
Absolutely,
woman should have that right. And you stop what you thought were flaws in your features, you actually learn, oh, that's really, like, you're a type 1 energy. You're light, upward, you have a buoyant, inspiring, bring the energy up. Type 1 energy is up and out.
Yeah.
And so you are wearing something that you've worn in the past.
Yes.
It's very structured. It's very still. Black is the most still of all colors. If people don't know you and your animated, playful nature comes forward, how could they may perceive it as being too silly,
Right.
too much, or annoying.
Or maybe incongruent. There's something wrong, but they can't put their finger on it because I'm not dressing in alignment with my personality. Well, not my personality, but with the energy that I give
your
out.
energy.
Yeah.
And you can see, and we all have the movement of our type in our features. You have a lot of circles. You have a very youthful appearance. And your apple cheeks, circle, the way your brow bone comes down with the cheekbone, that's a circle there. You have a very playful look just in who you are as a woman. And you can make that playful look really classy. Yeah, I'm a type 3, which is a lot more texture and a dynamic movement in my face. So I wear a lot of edge and angle and substance, and I can hold it, and it actually softens. It kind of ironic. You'd think you'd have to put on soft to make yourself look softer. If I put soft on and muted colors, I look more intense, more like I'm an angry woman.
So we're going to move into the makeover part of the show.
And I want you to be honest with your audience. You were a little bit.
I know I was very reluctant in the beginning, so but I'm releasing and surrendering myself to Carol's expertise. So let's go to the next part of our show where we actually start the transformation.
Okay, thank you. We've had our fun with Natalie before she comes out with her reveal of her new look. Let's take a look at her before picture. Natalie, welcome back. Show everyone your fabulous new outfit.
Here I am, my new look.
Ta-da! Very nice.
I feel like Jackie O. I feel very classy.
Well, I'm glad you feel classy.
No, I do. I feel
you're a classy woman, so
yeah. I actually feel very comfortable. Like the shirt is really light and soft. The pants, normally, I was saying to you before, normally I'm not into pants. I don't like pants a lot, but these kind of fit very well. But I feel very comfortable.
How
I
about
feel
the
at ease, you know?
color and the pattern?
I never wear dots, so this is
Okay.
something new. But to be honest with you, when it was hanging on the rack, I was like, I don't know about the dots, but they actually look really brilliant on.
They do. You
Yeah.
wear polka dots quite beautifully.
Yes.
That would be your type 1 nature.
Right.
Well, and you've had a preference for gold jewelry before. I
Yes.
wasn't like switching from silver to gold.
Mm-hmm.
And the gold works because you have a bright, shiny energy.
Right.
And so that's and it's a warm energy. Type 1 energy is a warm energy.
Yeah.
And so bright, shiny gold is very effervescent, warm, and has a brilliance to it. So it matches your energies. Because in the Dressing Your Truth world, the 4 types are about movement. We're not looking at your skin color and your eye color, hair color. It's about your movement.
Right.
How do you move
because
through the
how
world?
did you put this outfit together? Like, why does this work for a 1-1?
Well, we're first looking at your movement, which is upward, light, brilliant. You have a gift for ideas. You inspire people. We're on the inspiration show. And if you really look at how you present yourself online, it does express your true nature. The color, the movement, the graphics are very bright and fun and light.
Right.
You have actually been true to this in
Yeah.
many ways. And so the particular colors are type 1 colors, the more animated quality of pattern, polka dots are animated.
Right.
And the fact that it needs to feel light on your body. If something feels heavy to you, may
Or
not
restrictive.
tight, too confining, or if it weighs you down, you may not have realized it. But if you were to go through your closet and actually look at some things you just aren't as you don't select as often, you pass them by.
Yep.
There's a good chance they're too restrictive. Like your before outfit was it was pretty
tight,
restrictive.
yes. Mm-hmm.
And the other factor is they could be heavy on your body, and you have a light quality, and things need to feel light. So your jewelry needs to almost feel like it's not even there.
Yeah.
Because if it was heavy, you'd take it off.
Yeah.
And you may not have related the two. See that, oh, I'm light, therefore what's on my body needs to support that with lightness. And we teach that in each of the 4 types. Beyond just fashion and style and assembling and creating a look, we talk about what each of the pieces of what you're putting on your body is referencing your true self.
Yeah. Because if you feel good, if you look good and feel good, then you show up in a completely different way. And then you actually show up authentically as yourself.
Right. People get you too. They're more apt to be playful with you, to laugh with you, to feel safe with you, because you have a very, like, I'm a fun person you can connect with.
Yeah.
You make it easy for people to connect with you.
Right.
You interview people.
Yes. Yes, I do.
That's your type 1 nature. You can connect with anyone.
Yeah. So tell us about the other energy types.
Okay, and I want to give I know Natalie, and I am as well, because this really was born from my work in the wellness world. I said I don't come from the fashion and beauty side of things. I brought fashion and beauty into I decided to bring wellness to fashion and beauty.
Yes.
And consciousness to fashion and beauty. So in your case, there's always a classic sort of put me down for each type that they shame themselves with.
Right.
And for the type 1 person, it's very common for you to judge yourself as being irresponsible in some avenues of life, in some capacities, that you have to be able to execute a certain level of follow through and thoroughness and structure in order to qualify for being responsible.
Right.
And type 1 people tend to say yes too much.
Yeah.
And it's learning to be agreeable without agreeing.
Right.
Does that make sense to you?
It does, yes.
Being pleasant in your ability to say no.
Yeah.
Because you do have a sense of believing you can say yes and do everything. You're hopeful, your possibilities, and then you may overcommit. And so that I am learning to disagree in an agreeable way, or I am learning to say no in a friendly way. So that's a really good takeaway for a type 1 person.
Yeah, that's something I've actually been stepping into just recently.
knowing what to say
yeah,
yes to
exactly.
and what to say no
But
to.
even how to say no. I actually said no to someone just recently, someone I was working with in Germany, and they said, wow, that's the nicest no I've ever got.
And that would be you. So
Yes.
being, that whole phrase, I am agreeable without having to agree or say yes. Because that's about being just your true self. And there's an opportunity to realize, play on those gifts rather than shame yourself and think, I need to change myself. I need to play on my strengths and believe I am a light to the world. That is my greatest gift.
Right.
And other things are optional,
Okay.
and follow through and structure. Everyone has to have it, but within the context of living your true self. Now, in the type 2 world, where the energy is softer, gentler, it's a fluid flowing downward movement. The concern and the issue there is they perceive themselves as weak. Their subtlety has been judged as a shy quality as a child, or you're too slow, but they're methodical. They feel their way through the world emotionally, and they're sensitive. Not sensitive, any type can be an empath and be intuitive, but I'm just sensitive to emotion in a way that that's a priority in their space, to just make sure everyone's comfortable. And comfort is a key factor, especially with what they put on their body. And their judgment of being weak is really a sign of their greatest gift, which is they bring peace to the world.
Right.
They bring gentleness. They calm the energy down. And so in that world, the affirmation for a type 2 is, I am living true to my subtle nature, and I'm powerful.
Yeah.
Something, the Mississippi River is a powerful force. It's a type 2 movement. To trust the subtlety, the gentleness, and to see that as a power.
Right.
But not to have to stray from that, because we tend to think power to be a very yang movement, where type 2 movement is very yin.
Right.
It's a very soft, gentle movement, and it's powerful, deep and steady. Then the type 3 energy is a very swift, active, reactive, determined, kind of definitely has a push, and it creates action. It creates movement. And the type 3 person's been told a lot they're too loud and they're too pushy.
Right.
And so I'm using my power to make a conscious difference in the world, so that you're conscious of this kind of power. So you don't just come off as pushy or overriding people and overtaking things. I'm a type 3.
Right.
It's given me a lot of wisdom to manage my energy so that I'm gracious to people. I'm observant of certain scenarios so it doesn't turn people off.
Right.
Because it can, just unknowingly. So that affirmation is really serving. I am powerful in using my power in a conscious, healthy way. And then the type 4 energy is a very intellectually based experience. It's more internal, and there's more probably going on internally for someone with type 4 energy than they show externally. And they've been told they're too reserved, or they're know-it-alls,
Right.
or even anal. But that's their process. They have to mentally work it through, figure it out before they can come to kind of a big picture awareness.
Right.
They're very thorough. They can see the picture hanging on the wall just a little bit off skew.
Right.
And you have secondaries that you have all 4 energies. So some of these may come into your own practice of self because they're a secondary influence.
Yeah.
But they'll tend to either discard kind of an all or nothing. I'll either try and just quiet myself and be still. I just won't speak up. I'll silence myself, or I'm just going to remove and say, I don't need you. You're stupid or you're wrong, and I'm going to just remove myself. But then there's that's not necessary, because if you're conscious of your nature as a type 4 person, you're able to really own that. And with that affirmation, I speak my opinion boldly. I know what's right for me, and I allow others to do the same.
Right.
So there's that centeredness in self,
Yeah.
and the respecting others, that I get to be my authority and I support others in being their authority.
Yeah.
And that really creates balance now in relationship. And so with each of these, those are lifestyle affirmations. There's a dressing component. I had mentioned we're type 3. I'll just add those because I talked about comfort for type lightness, comfort. Substance is type 3. Chunk. We like the weight. We like the feeling of something substantial on our bodies, more texture. Then type 4, they're the no movement. The least, they have to choose the movement on their body. And if they're with being comfortable is well fitted.
Right.
Very refined.
Yeah.
And it can be casual clothes, but it's fitted well to the body. Right. You know, they're more apt to not wear a pair of pants if the waistline is just even a half inch too. It's just, they'll notice it.
Right.
It needs to fit properly.
Okay.
So beyond that, those are just little fun things, little side notes of dressing your truth, because as you have experienced with us, we teach a whole system.
It's fabulous. And what I love about it, it's deeper than just your color. It's deeper than just your personality. This is really how you show up energetically.
Yeah, it's how you're born, actually. Yeah. You're born with this movement.
And I feel, like I said, I feel so comfortable, and you know how reserved I was in the beginning, but this feels like this is, like I really love this.
I'm glad.
Yeah, no,
I'm glad.
I do.
We really want you to love it.
Yeah.
We do. I want you to feel happy in it. Happy is a centering point for you, that place of happy. So what you're wearing should support happiness for you. And of course, everyone wants happiness, yet there is a certain quality that you help when the energy gets lighter, when we bring the energy up and we say we're having more fun.
Yeah.
We say we're happier. And so that's a good does this outfit make me happy?
Yeah.
Does it add, I would say make me. Yeah. Does it add to my happiness?
Exactly.
Does it add to my happiness?
Yeah. So Carol, again, thank you so much, because it's, I've had such an amazing day. Yeah, I have. So if people want to connect and work with you, what's the best way we can get people to do that?
Well, my free energy profiling course, which we have offered to your community, it's where you start to learn which of the 4 types you lead with. It's a fun course. It's really intuitive. I think you'll see yourself, and really remember, it's movement-based, not personality. Who are you truly? And a lot of times it's a good reference to say, well, who do I think I should be versus who do I want to be? Because it's the want to be that's really true to who you are.
Right. Okay. So thanks again, Carol, for everything.
You're
really
welcome.
Appreciate your time.
Guys,
I encourage you to share this video. You can do that by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on this page. And so until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.